This is another episode of the Presidential Executive. Your boy JB and Rag. And man, you know, I know it's, certain things you don't, want to get into or talk about, in regards to, because we kind of, what you would call, we PKs. You said we PKs, but we're kind of outcast in a sense because we're not your traditional way of saying or doing things or even speaking. I know can be as much as articulate like my dad spoke. My dad speaks. He spoke very well, and James Earl Jones ish.
I don't know, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like if they had him as like a movie, he could have. Yeah. He should have been in voice acting. Cause like your pop was like,
I know,
man. That so many people told him. Nigga.
So many people told him that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just in regards to the time like COVID and just as far as dealing with the church, how is the church the opening and the closings? Like for me, for one, I think that COVID is very serious. It is something that needs to be dealt with, and you need to take your precautions. But also in dealing with the church, you dealing with even the word says as far as don't you need to get together basically frequently during the week. I don't want to say exact paraphrase pretty much where it says don't neglect coming together, pretty much. And I think for a time I think that was good, probably from March until maybe June or July when stuff got really heavy, but then I see a lot of other churches that frequently have drive-ins, you know what I'm saying, or have people coming into the parking lot, they got the bullhorn out, or doing stuff of that nature, you know what I'm saying. And I think virtual church is great. I use it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, in today, I use it personally just because I have to now. But for me, I'm missing the worship experience when I'm actually in the building. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's a disconnect from in my thought. I think that especially during this time, you would think us coming together, you know what I'm saying, would actually help more for those congregations or buildings that are big enough to accommodate those type of situations. Like the church that, local church that I attend has a big sanctuary. You know what I'm saying? They have a big sanctuary. So
you attend the same church that I attend?
Do we?
Oh, okay.
Do we? I don't know, but
I don't know now. You might be.
It's possible. I don't know.
People playing guitars on stage and stuff like that. I don't know.
But I think that if your facility has the room enough to accommodate enough space, I think you can kind of play with it enough to where you don't have to. Everybody don't have to be at home. People might have to switch off a week or do something of that nature or whatever.
I mean, even if you did, I just know at our place of worship, like it was 2 services. Mm-hmm. I think that it's enough space to where within both of the services, because everybody didn't attend both services.
Right, for sure.
And you really only got to see how many people it was. Is I want to say it was like the 5th Sunday.
Yeah,
everybody would come together and then you see like, oh, okay, it's this many people.
Right.
Because you got both numbers, but
yeah.
And if you take it out the vacuum, and it's like the 2 services, it's enough space to where if just your family is sitting together, and then you're dispersed, we got enough space to where.
Right.
Even I don't know if you remember back in the day when we would have like the New Year's watch services, and sometimes the sanctuary was the capacity, and like in the other spots within the church, like they had the monitors set up and people would be in there.
Yeah.
And so it's like we were all still in the same building, even though
you talking about in the hallway, like in
like the I guess like way back in the day, in the Family Life Center days, like you
Okay. You
like
talking
in the
about?
cafeteria, they had the TV
Okay.
set up,
Okay.
and then I want to say, I guess now it would be more like in the Manor and in the
Okay. Okay. Okay.
the
I know
bistro
what
and
you're
all
talking
that.
about.
Like you
Okay.
could still have the monitors set up to where, okay, we can only have, 6 families in this room. We can have 20 families in this room. The rest of it, like, we'd be spread out in the sanctuary. But like, it's a lot of places,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, in that building. If you wanted to do that,
Yeah.
on an individual level, and like we were talking off camera, like the conversation I had with my dad with me. If I really believe what I say I believe, I don't live in the fear. Because think about this now. Every time you drive your car, it's potential. Statistics say
There's a risk.
not just animal running across the street. Like if you look at how many times people die from like a deer or something running across the street, those numbers are prevalent. Drunk drivers. Just recently last year, somebody that we knew, was hit and run like random, like he wasn't doing anything, like somebody just hit him. Every time you get behind the wheel of your vehicle, it's potential that you could die.
Yeah.
If you fly, every time you get in a plane, it's potential that you can die. You see what I'm saying? So like, this is just as real as if you look at the numbers of flu deaths. I'm pretty sure that the numbers are pretty comparable. You look at high blood pressure, diabetes, heart attack, strokes, cancer. I'm pretty sure the numbers are pretty comparable. So my thing is if I really believe what I say I believe, I don't live in the fear. Now, as we was talking off camera, I'm not drinking after anybody. I'm washing my hands more than I've ever washed them in life. Not eating out, even after my own family members, not, eating after them. Not walking up, kissing complete strangers, eating stuff off the floor, scratching my butt and putting my fingers in my mouth. Not doing any of that.
Yeah.
I'm practicing more health conscious things than ever before. But at the same time, I gotta go to work every day. As you can see, I'm in my work uniform now.
You're right.
I'm not gonna stop going to work because I'm afraid of and we've had this conversation, what I believe is a pandemic. Because the Tuskegee experiments were planned. Like, if people think that it's not people sitting up planning on how to control the population or how to control numbers, like birth control is something that's planned. Like, it's people who get paid big money to figure out how people will react to certain situations. So now, while I believe that COVID is real, I believe it exists.
For sure.
But I know people, everybody that I know that caught it, and it's 2 groups of people. Everybody that I knew whose health was good, uncomfortable for a few days, got over it. Actually had a family member die from it as a result of it. But in context, she was older, pushing 80.
Yeah.
Health already wasn't good. Pretty much already on like one of the breathing machines. You see the oxygen tanks running like. So, and she was already quarantining before that. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just one of those things that it's unfortunate. And I know like that was one of my dad's, first cousins. Man, loved her to death. Like when I tell you, man, salt of the earth, like rocking with you. That's who you want to have your back. You know what I'm saying? But again, the people that I know that had good baseline health.
Yeah.
And so now I get the whole thing. You want to protect people from other people from exposure. But again, like I know people that caught it, good baseline health, 3 or 4 days. I'm just waiting to get cleared when I go back and test again. I'm just waiting to get cleared and.
Right. Yeah. My issue with it is that I believe that the politics has infiltrated the church as far as now you have a gang of black churches that do not want to come back and commune. Like, it don't have to be in person. Like you said, if you have a big enough congregation, you can kind of space people out, especially if you live with one another. You can kind of, do certain protocols that, that would be good with that. But, it's like if you're a black church, if you do allow your congregation to come back, it's like that you're in lockstep with the president and the Republicans. As far, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you look like, whether that's what your intent is or not. That's what you look like. You know what I'm saying? So even if you feel like, okay, we
I wish I
can.
had a teacup so I could Kermit the Frog. But
Kermit the Frog.
I'm gonna just take my Mapco cup. And just, this is not product placement, by the way.
So that's what it's looking like to me. Is more of it's looking like a political move to where you don't want to even have the image or perception that you're in cahoots or in agreement with the political party. You know what I'm saying? With a certain political party, or let's just say what it is, Trump. You know what I'm saying? That you're not, because he's not, full on COVID. Is reports out there that saying he says it's a hoax or whatever within that. But that you don't want people to pull up to the service, because the black community is the most targeted or hurt by COVID, by this,
Supposedly.
by stats or something that I've heard. I haven't looked in depth into it, but that's what's said. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, first of all, let me say that I love Trump Towers. I think that Trump Towers is like one of the greatest hotels in the world.
It is, bro.
So I support Trump Towers.
Yeah.
Now, the other guy, like, I love Celebrity Apprentice. It was a great show.
Great show. Yeah.
As far as anything else, I don't know. I can't speak on.
Yeah.
Not gonna touch that one. But I mean, like, and you had a Facebook post where you were talking about people don't believe things that he's saying anyway.
Facts.
I just and you were talking about the black community being targeted bad. Like, again, I saw something and we had this conversation some months ago, but like they were talking about when they release the vaccine, they want African Americans or black people, dispersed Africans, to be the first people to receive the vaccine. So like I'm straight. I passed.
Yeah.
Like I'm good. Cause I don't get a flu shot. Never had the flu, ever.
Right.
In life, I've never gotten a flu shot. Never gotten a flu. But again, and I want to say, and you probably can remember this time, like kind of when we were getting in high school and stuff, they started saying we had to have certain vaccines and shots and stuff like that. And right after I got out at that point, my faith changed, and I really I'm like that little kid who believes when your dad that doesn't live at home say he come to take you fishing, I'm sitting on the porch waiting. Like I believe it like that. So I have not lived in the fear of certain things. So when they talk about the flu, I've never lived in the fear, never gotten the flu. When this COVID situation hit, it's like, okay, I'm gonna start washing my hands more. Like I already wash them after I do everything, but like I'm just gonna extra hand sanitize. Like I got hand sanitizer.
You have to wear a mask where you at?
When I'm in the building, I don't have to drive in the truck, in the mail truck with it on. But when I'm in the building, I have to put it on.
Right.
Now when I'm standing in my little case where I'm casing, I can take it off. Like I drink coffee in the morning, so I'm like, I told my boss, like, look, I drink coffee. Like, so
right.
I'm not gonna keep taking it on and off every time I want to take a sip of my coffee.
Right.
And but when I'm walking out of the case, I'll put it on. But I just don't live in the fear.
Right, you should.
But at the same time, I'm not like whatever happens, happens.
Right.
Like when I pray, my prayer is that I pray for my health. Pray for the health of my family, my friends, my acquaintances, my love, even my enemies. So if I really believe that, nothing that I do, and I don't do it because I'm motivated by fear. I do it because I believe that if I speak it, it's going to happen. It's not based because, another conversation for another day, but it's not like a Job situation where I'm offering a sacrifice because I don't want nothing bad to happen to my children. And you know that because if you look in chapter 3, he said, what I feared the most happened. Yeah. So that lets you know it was motivated by fear. For me, when I do it, it's because I believe that by me speaking it, my words are giving life and they're planting seeds. And so what everybody else is saying is counterbalancing that.
Right.
I believe that death and life is in the power of the tongue. I believe that when I say I will live and not die, that happened. I believe that he bore my sicknesses and my infirmities. You see what I'm saying? So while everybody else is moving, like, and I wear my mask when I go in the gas station or when I go in Walmart, like when I do my pickups at the mall and stuff, I walk in with my mask on
Right.
and all of that. But it's not because I'm fearful. It's because I'm respecting the laws of the land.
Yeah, respectful of others too.
You see what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
And I just because I'm free in a certain area, I'm not imposing my freedom on you. But now when I'm in my house or when I'm in my space, and like right now where we are, we're comfortable and we're free, like,
right.
And nobody has to agree with that.
Yeah.
Just like when everybody else does what they do, you don't care whether I agree with that or not, whatever that is, who you vote for, what your faith is, who you sleep with, who you marry. You're not considering me when you do that.
Right.
So why should I be worried about what you think when I do what I do in my own space?
Yeah.
Now, not when I'm around you, but when I'm in my own space, don't tell me how to live or how to believe or how to think. You see what I'm saying? And so, my disappointment within the faith, within the body of Christ, is that I've seen a lot of people react as if I didn't know what you believed, I would think that you didn't really believe what you said you believed. And so now again, what are you moving off of? Are you moving off of what they're saying, or are you moving off of what God's word says? And if you're moving off of what God's word says, what we believe in our hearts to be God's word, then I'm not worried about any of this because it's already been written anyway.
Yeah.
It's wars and rumors of wars, it's famine and pestilence, which is diseases. You see what I'm saying? Like everything that's going on now has been written. It's already in there, so I'm not surprised by any of it.
Right.
So because
y'all hear what he's saying, it's not that he's saying that he shouldn't wear a mask or he shouldn't do this or that, but it's a inner knowing that you walk with, and you speak that, and then you walk it out. You know what I'm saying?
I got a better. It's like this. Like, you answer to Jamal, right?
For sure.
But now, prior to you being told that your name was Jamal and you having a birth certificate with your name being Jamal, you didn't know your name was Jamal, but you believe that your name is Jamal. So when someone says Jamal or JB, like you see it right there, when someone says Jamal or JB, you answer to it because you have an inner knowing that that's who you are, even though you really don't have no way of knowing because you weren't there when you were conceived or born.
What your mom and daddy told you.
You see what I'm saying? That's just what you were talking, but you believe it.
Right.
And so when you walk into the store, when you get ready to buy something, when somebody calls you and say, confirm your name, when you go to a job interview, you answer with confidence because you believe that and you operate off of it. And so guess what? When people hear that, they respond off of your confidence.
Yeah.
And so in the same way, like, can I hold in my hand that I'm not going to get sick? Can I reach in my pocket and pull out? I'm not. No, I just know within myself. Just like I know my name is Roche Orestes Raglan II. Just like I'm confident when somebody says Ro or Shay or Prez or Stringer or Rag, I answer to it because I believe that within myself. And guess what? When I answer to it, people treat me like that.
Right.
So in the same way, I believe I'm going to live and not die. I believe I'm not going to get any sicknesses and diseases. Now again, I'm not testing the fate. I'm not walking up in people breathing in their faces and, F your mask, and I'm just running around Walmart with no mask on trying to start fighting.
Like Chappelle, where he's like, oh, gosh.
Right. I'm not doing that.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not going to be afraid to check my mailbox. I'm not afraid to go to the store. I'm not afraid to go to work. When I'm at work, I interact with people all the time. I encounter people who have no mask all the time. I never worry. And guess what? Like I told you earlier when we were talking, I know some people who caught it. Guess what? I never caught it. And nobody that's connected with me, interconnected in my intermediate family.
Right.
Like I got a brother that stays with me. He ain't never had it. My big brother just came in town, was in town for about 5 days. He ain't got it.
Yeah.
I go see my parents all the time.
In Cali?
No, that's the one he works in Alaska.
Okay.
Yeah. He ain't got it when Bird came from Missouri, my baby brother. He came, kicked it with us every day while he was here for about 5 days. He ain't get it.
Yeah.
When I see my daughter, she ain't got it. None of her brothers and her mom and grandma don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe it's because I'm special. I just believe because I believe it and I speak it and I have a relationship.
Right. Yeah. And that's, I just don't want it to, which I think it has become more political just because of, because honestly, I see a lot of white churches, they're already back in, or
Never stop.
they have frequent drive-ins or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? That's not, driven by any side agendas. Side agendas by, well, it's it's pastor's birthday.
Right.
Or it's, you know what I'm saying, it's first lady's this, so we want the people to come together, you know what I'm saying, to, have a service, but it's really to show your appreciation for this and this and that. It's not really to come together as a body. We haven't seen each other in a while. Let's come together with no other side business and let's praise God. Let's worship, give our offering, whatever we want to do, and let that be it. There's no side deals or side hustles to where it's like, okay, we'll come together, but we're gonna come together because it's this particular event. You know what I'm saying? Or this particular, time that we want to appreciate this. You know what I'm saying? I just think, it's it can just get very political driven to where it doesn't have to. You know what I mean?
And check this out. And we've had this conversation before, but it was a time in the history of the world, and it hadn't even been 100 years ago, where you had a person and a group of people telling everybody how to think, saying that you had to think a certain way, and we all have to be among this same thought process. And they committed one of the greatest atrocities in the history of the world, and I'm talking about the Holocaust. Now, how were we doing any different? You got to think this way. If you don't think like this, you're a fool. And so now they're not putting us in any concentration camps or anything like that, but they're canceling people. They're ostracizing people because you don't prescribe to what I believe, so you're wrong.
Yeah. You talking about the cancel culture?
That culture, but I'm just saying, even now when people talk about, oh, if you don't wear your mask, you don't believe in wearing your mask, you're a fool.
Right.
Like, how do you know?
Yeah.
Who says?
Yeah. Because it's almost as in that you can tell who's for who or who's on a political side if somebody's out and they don't have a mask on, or somebody's out and they do have a mask on. Like, I can tell, oh, you must be a Democrat or something like that, or just because the hue of our skin, you know what I'm saying? People are going to automatically think that we are more leaning toward the Democratic side. You know what I'm saying? Just because of history, where we grew up, everything else within that.
I mean, we had this conversation the last time when we had our technical difficulties. But
Yeah.
I don't mess with none of them niggas.
Yeah.
It's like telling somebody, okay, so just walk with me. Somebody kills your parents, right? And then you got another group of people that say, man, F your kids. You got 4 of them. Man, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure your kids fail. And then I come to you and say, okay, so JB, we gotta rock with somebody. So you gonna rock with the person who killed your parents, or you gonna rock with the person that said, F your kids, and I'm gonna do everything I can in my power to see that they fail? You're not messing with either one of them.
Yeah.
So when people say choose the lesser of two evils, like, what's the lesser?
Yeah.
Am I going to fool with somebody who historically you've used my vote, you've used my support, you've used me backing you to get in a position, and then you have consistently, historically, without fail, failed me, not supported me after you've gotten what you wanted? Almost like a relationship where a woman is trying to get your money, and when you pay a bill or something like that, she stopped talking to you. Or like a guy, as soon as you get the draws, you out. Like, that is what our relationship with the Democrats have been.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, then you've got the people who have historically, strategically, repeatedly just done us wrong. And it's equivalent to an old Chris Rock joke. It's like America's like the uncle who put you through college, but he used to molest you. And so, like, you saying,
Right,
like, oh,
right.
I'm the faith. Y'all go to church. I'm of the faith, too. And it's like, so you're using our family aspect, but then, like, you used to touch me inappropriately.
Yeah. Yeah.
You used to hurt me. You used to beat me. You used to embarrass me and shame me. But you put me through college, though. And just because we're the same, that we believe the same, like, you think that gives you a pass to all of your atrocities.
I think it's justified.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I'm supposed to fool with the person who molested me and made me feel ashamed and embarrassed and hurt me, or the person who got the draws and never talked to me again.
Mm-hmm.
They both of y'all foul.
Right.
Like, neither one of y'all is good.
Right.
Neither one of you all have proven to have my best interest at heart.
But dog, like now, I think it's more or less of we're looking for a face. We're not looking for who's the best to do this job. We're looking for they're a better person. You know what I'm saying? I like how they say this or do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, the king in the Bible that gave the Jews everything that they needed to have as far as what God wanted for them was one of the most evil, you know what I'm saying, of that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he basically, he was evil. He was more of like a Trump. He didn't do or say things properly or do stuff like that, but he was more in line in legislation or policy.
Where you going with? Nebuchadnezzar?
Was it? I don't think it was him. I think it was. I'm not sure. I had to look at the verse, but it was. He was the most vile as far as how he dealt with certain things, but he was the most just, in how he, dealt with, the Jews and everything else. So I have to look that up, but that's not, I don't want to put out there that I think that Trump is the savior. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how they Trump is the savior and all that.
Sometimes you be like, vote for Pops. I'm like, dude,
man, it's just
he know what I'm talking about. If he watches, he know what I'm talking about. But
right, yeah. It's just it's a thought out there. You know what I'm saying? Like to where, you can't just look at an image. You know what I'm saying? Like we look like, okay, this person is a good person, so I'm gonna rock with them. But how do they think? You know what I'm saying? What is their perspective on?
Again, like good is relative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you say somebody's good, like what does that really mean?
That means I like to
is that they prescribe to what doesn't offend me.
President Obama, I think, was voted as the most popular or most loved president ever. You know what I'm saying? Just because President Obama was great as far as the image for black people. Like for me, I think the image alone was great for us because now you see it's possible. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but it's not though.
What's that? What you mean?
This is what I mean. Like, okay, like first of all, like, and I got to quote a Paul Mooney joke. Like, he was super nigga.
Yeah.
Like, he went to Harvard. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of was it Yale and Harvard?
Something like that. He went to some obvious.
No, I want to say he went to one of them, but then went to the other law school. I think he went to Yale and then went to Harvard Law School, but it's something like that. He went to 2 Ivy Leagues. Okay, like, so he's obviously very intelligent.
Yeah.
You know, married a very intelligent woman.
Yeah.
Both of them were lawyers, which means, and so what people don't understand is like a lawyer is like a doctor of the law. When you graduate law school, you get a JD, which is your Juris Doctorate. So you are a doctor of the law. So you have somebody who basically has a PhD in the law. So he's very qualified genius level intellect, wife, very qualified, genius level intellect, married, no scandals. He ain't got neither one of them got any outside kids.
Right.
And nobody come and think about it now. He's been out of office 4 years. Nobody popped up. We ain't got no new light skinned babies that's cool, that smoke cigarettes coming up.
Right.
Left handed jump shots.
Or he paid them well, whichever one.
Either that, man, they got a million non-disclosure agreement.
For sure.
But I'm just saying, so like, super nigga. No scandals, no conflict, nothing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like, when you look at the average, I just say, look at yourself. Would you be able to say, like, that was you? Mm-hmm. Like, do you line up with that? And so now again, you're a college graduate, got a fire job and everything, but just like on the scandal side, like we not even gonna talk about it. Like you know what my autobiography is. Like you already know I talked to you. Like I got a whole nother podcast series dedicated to the ratchet life of Roche Ragland.
For sure.
Like
he does.
So I could not, while I am presidential, like I could not be involved in politics because like I'm worse than William Jefferson Clinton. Like he didn't do it. He said he didn't do it. Like I did it. You see what I'm saying? Like I couldn't be that. So you get the best. Now again, let's look at George H.W. Bush. Mm-hmm. Dodged the draft. You know, he clearly wasn't the most intellectual president that we ever had.
Yeah. He went to Yale though, but I think that was based off his, you know,
nepotism.
Yeah.
But then let's go. Not even look at his dad. Let's look at their grandfather, who was a Hitler supporter. Like that's how they got their money. They were in league with Nazi Germany. You see what I'm saying? Let's look at like the Kennedys. Like Joe Kennedy was in league with Al Capone and Lucky Luciano and those guys.
Now I know about that family.
Like when you look at, and then even look at JFK and Robert Kennedy, like it's known now, it's common knowledge that he had affairs with Marilyn Monroe and other women and all of these things. Like these guys had, so you didn't necessarily have to be the best and you were able to get these, like, let's be honest, Ronald Reagan, like, come on, like, the dude in all them B movies that was a bad actor that brought crack into Oakland and LA in the 80s with, I mean, not in the 80s, but in the 70s, Iran Contra and all that stuff, like, that's your king. That what he say in Black Panther, this is your king.
This your king?
You don't have to be the best.
Yeah.
Like, listen to any Jimmy Carter speech. Go back and listen, like, really, that's your guy?
Yeah.
I mean, like, he sounds like his folks fought for the Confederacy. Like that's what we did. Gerald Ford, really, the fullback from Michigan. Oh, now keep in mind, I was a history mind. Like I do this. I'm just saying. So like, but then you get Barack and Michelle, best of the best.
Yeah.
So now when you say it's possible, who's it possible for? Because while I consider myself an intellectual, like. Have I been an underachiever? Of course.
Right.
So is it possible for me, who consistently has underachieved? Because my mindset was if the person that's being mediocre, that is mediocre, can get the same thing that I get or better, why should I stay up all night studying, stressing myself out, losing sleep? And I can get an 85 without studying and be good, and I still get the same degree or same paperwork he get. Yeah, I'm going to go and take my 85.
Right. Yeah, I took the 85 too.
You see what I'm saying? Like, man, and I can sleep good. I can go to the party with my homeboys. Like, we can turn up, stay on the phone all night with the young lady I met or whatever, and I still get this 85, and all I need is a 79. Oh, yeah, let me go and get this good 85, 86. I'm straight. Mm-hmm. And the person who got the 99, if you sit down and talk to us, you'll see, oh, dang, he know more than the person who got the 99. You just studied for the test. I know the material. Mm-hmm. But is it possible for me? No. Yep. So that's what I mean when I say, like, he to me was like what Bill Cosby was to the black family in the 80s. Mm-hmm. He gave you something to aspire for.
Right.
Like something to be proud of, like, oh man, we can, this is us at our best.
That's what I was talking about. Like not as far as just maybe to become president, but just, you know, you got the image of whatever that is. I want to be a hip hop artist. I want to be the greatest plumber. I want to be the top echelon of that industry.
I went all the way left with
you know what I'm saying? But no.
I get you
But
now,
no,
though.
but yeah, but
I
that,
mean, yeah.
but even like it gives even Pac. Remember Pac said we'll never have a black president. You know what I'm saying? As far as within that, so
Did he say we'll never have one, or did he say he'll never live to see himself with one? He might have said we'll
it's a
never
good
have
question. I think he
But
said
if-
we'll never.
one. Okay,
I
but if he
think
said he'll never live to see one, then
yeah,
it was-
that was true.
no
boss.
shade on Pac, because that's one of mine.
That's your guy.
Oh yeah, man, Pac top
That's your guy.
5.
Yeah, that's your
Still,
guy. That's your guy.
still
Yeah,
undisputed,
top 5
man. Today,
today, to this day, huh?
dude, like
Okay.
people. That's another conversation for another day. But like people slip on his lyricism.
Yeah.
So, but that's another conversation. I'm not gonna get.
Yeah,
into Pac
we'll get into that.
Got to.
We'll get into that. But I think we're more enamored with the image of somebody, which is cool because now you can aspire like you're a great person, you're a good role model, like Michael Jordan. Like he was a great role model. You know what I'm saying? As far as look at you, you know what I'm saying?
Mike is my guy, but
Yeah, like public image wise,
Right,
You know what I'm
'cause
saying? Public image.
Jimmy Butler daddy was something serious.
Right. That's true. We all know that now. So, but publicly, just like the president, is publicly, it's the public front. You know what I'm saying? Your image. And so, President Obama put out that he was articulate. He spoke. You never rushed him. You know what I'm saying? If he was in a debate with
right.
Trump right now,
It wouldn't have looked like that.
oh no, he
Whatever
would be
his
so
stuff was.
presidential. He would slow him down. He would just
not as presidential as me, but yeah, he would definitely.
never like
Yeah,
you, never like you. But
Got to.
he was, he would slow himself down. You never
Right.
could rush him.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He was his own man. He was at his own pace. So, you know what I'm saying? I think we are more in love with the image of how it looks rather than the actual job and what it entails for
idea
it to do. Yeah.
Of what something is.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, he's he's so great. He's so cool. President Obama is so cool. He's, he was on the NCAA bracket, picking a champion on ESPN, doing that stuff. He made himself accessible at so many points to where, you know what I'm saying? He was likable. Like, I liked him. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie. Like, he definitely could sit up and podcast with us. He could have a drink with us. Like, he could watch the game with us.
He having beers on the late night, on the
Right.
David Lettermans.
Jimmy Kimmel and
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon.
Right. He was relatable. And so, but my thing when I look at it too is in the future, so is the Antichrist is going to be Obama times 3. Times 3. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
so it's not about the likability, it's more of the manipulation when it comes to it, as in I can put up this public front, but then behind closed doors, I'm not for you.
And so keep this in mind too, like, and we've had this conversation before, but especially with people who are in the faith and who do things in certain arenas, whether it be music or public speaking or ministry or the like you mad because people don't like you, but if you're talking about that, when it comes to that, they won't like you. You talking about how you keep your yard trimmed and they're going, oh, cool, you're a good guy. Talking about the game, oh yeah, man, I love watching sports with him. Talking about how you keep your car clean and oh yeah, man, yo, that's the dude you need to talk to. But when it talks about matters of integrity, matters of the faith, matters of the heart, they're not gonna love you. Yeah. And that's in the word. Like, they're not going to love you. And so people get frustrated and it's like, they don't like me. Why don't they want to listen to what I'm saying? I'm giving them like, no. And so for me, when you say that you are of that and you're pushing that and everybody likes you, I jump back. Because that goes against everybody's not going to like you. Like, think about this now. And again, not making this a spiritual or religious thing. But if you study the scripture, like initially, they loved Jesus.
Yeah.
But when it came time to the same person who was healing the sickness and disease was also saying, go and sin no more. Mm-hmm. And when they had a chance to, and again, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I think it was off camera, but they had a chance to free him, or the woke person, the political prisoner.
Yeah.
Because the murderer that they released was somebody that was what he did.
Judas.
No, Barabbas.
Barabbas.
Right. He was the equivalent of. He was also the equivalent of a woke person, and that was why he was in jail. He was a political prisoner.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
You talking? That was before or after Jesus died?
No. This was just before he was crucified. But when he was when Pilate had him, and it was like, okay, you can free him, or we'll get this war.
Barabbas. Okay, I got you.
And you see what they did to him.
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
Now keep in mind, this person murdered somebody.
Right.
This person didn't do nothing but heal people, loved everybody, like forgive and be blessed, and sickness gone, disease gone.
Yeah.
And you choose the nigga
that
trying to overthrow the government to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And that shows you what the people's on.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we think that they're gonna like us, and when in actuality, when it comes down to it, he talking about some stuff I don't like. He telling me not to cheat on my wife. I like that. Or you know what? He telling me I shouldn't be laid up in the gutter somewhere drunk. Or he make me feel bad when I overeat and eat till I'm stuffed. Or I feel bad because I got all these different women, all these different men. Like, when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
So now if people like you, is it because you're not challenging them to be better? Or is it because you're just giving it pure, uncut, unadulterated? I'm not trying to offend you, but if you are offended, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Mm-hmm. I'm just giving you the truth. What do you say in the Matrix? I can only give you the truth. Yeah. Like I'm not trying to dictate how you move. I'm just telling you what's what. Mm-hmm. So now, if people are really telling what's what, are you getting as many fans who don't believe what you believe? Are you getting as many co-signers who don't believe what you believe? Because I see a lot of people that's out there that's getting a lot of co-signers, but them co-signers don't prescribe to what you prescribing, but it's because you're not saying anything that's challenging them to do or be better.
Yeah, that's like every 4 years. Like it's.
And I ain't even talking about the politics. I'm talking about
right.
Yeah, but I get you though.
Every like dude, like years. I don't get into as heated debates as I have in years past. But dude,
I stay away.
I promise you, if you put your political views anywhere on social media and it goes counter to what somebody else believes, it's like hell. It's like you're dirt. You know what I'm saying? As far as within that, and it's crazy, man. Like I try not now to engage in it to the point where I get tense or I get anything else. But like I've grown enough now, I'm mature enough now to where I can have those conversations and not be like what I'm saying, be all hot and just be red in the face and everything else. Yes. Oh yeah. Dude, I met with a friend of mine, or we went to high school together, and you know what I'm saying, because we had different views, and he was like, he didn't know. I was like, man, let's just meet up at this bar and just meet up and just chop it up. We met, and we ended up still being on two opposite sides of the table, and it kind of fractured any type of relationship or friendship, that we did have. You know what I'm saying? Just because it was, like I said, it was more so just heated, but it didn't need to be that way. You know what I'm saying?
I think too, though, and this is no shade against y'all, but I think that this is how you know something is real. And I'm going to tell on us for a second. But we had a time where we had a falling out. Mm-hmm. But, and so when we had the falling out, like I want to say it was about a year.
Yeah.
Like we didn't
I couldn't take communion for a minute because I was oh yeah, I on Sundays you got that little.
I was taking it, but see, I didn't have anything against you, mm-hmm. but I was firm in where I was at. But I will say this:
I couldn't take it.
We didn't interact, we didn't talk, but because it was real, and I remember what it was is when you were actually about to get married.
Yeah.
And then you came to me and we had a conversation We had a phone conversation, and we actually met up one time and we talked face to face. And he was like, I want you to be in my wedding. He was like, I talked with the fiance at the time. Now wife is like, she's like, this is one of your guys. Y'all need to y'all been too. And so what I'm saying is that in spite of where we bump heads at, where we were at as friends was real.
Yeah.
And so what the viewers don't know, like I said, and I don't remember if it was this episode or the last one, when we were at the apartment. Might have been the first one. The Meadows. Like you saved my life. I was at the lowest point of my life. And every week, Sunday, watching NFL Reds, this one Red Zone first came out. Watching NFL Red Zone. And there was times where like, man, I come over there, man, you order pizza. We eat pizza, watch the Red Zone. Like sometimes, like I remember it was a couple times. I don't remember if you had cooked. I don't even know if you and the wife was together then.
Somebody cooked.
But somebody cooked.
Somebody cooked.
And like we ate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man, it was times we both sitting up watching the game and fell asleep.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like you on the couch, I'm in the chair. We sit up and we wake up like, dang, we dozed off. But like it got to where I was living for those Sundays. I was living for those moments to where like, okay, you know what? Nah, I can't give up because we got to watch the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and so that became like my lifeline. So in spite of where we disagreed and bumped heads at, like it was real. Because from my end, regardless of where we bumped head, man, you saved my life. Period. So we may disagree right here, but I know you got my best interest at heart. Ultimately.
Right.
We can disagree right here, but I know you got my best interest at heart. So regardless of where we was at over here, what I knew of you superseded anything that we had been through or disagreed with or bumped heads on. So for me, like I knew it was real, the humility that, and I know it's people watching that know you. So if you think he know everything and he arrogant, the humility that he showed in asking me to be one of his groomsmen, but not only that, and I don't know if you remember, you came back to me and told me like you were wrong in some areas and where we bump heads at.
Yeah.
That takes some humility to come back and say, you know what, man, I was wrong. Like I owe you an apology. I want you to forgive me. So for everybody that think you know him, he has a level of humility in him to where he's able to come back and say, hey, I was wrong. I messed up. I could have handled this differently. So, but I said that to say, I knew what we had, the relationship was real. It wasn't superficial.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So like, that's how you know, and I'm not saying y'all's wasn't, but I feel like if it's really real, no matter what we went through, like unless somebody killed your wife or killed your kids or something like that, if it's really legit, we can sit down man to man, mano a mano, look each other in the eyeball and be like, hey man, this is what it is, this is what it was.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't a person that was in my circle. Like you're in my circle. You know what I'm saying? Like it's only,
So he was just your weed man.
Huh?
No, I'm just playing.
Not him. Not him. But it was, it's only certain people in that circle, like you, McDade, B, Pat.
Good old McDade.
You know what I'm saying? Corey, you know what I'm saying? Jason, like all those.
What's my other guy
Keenan.
Was it Brooks?
He ain't talking about Kelvin, are you?
Yeah.
He talking about big, tall.
Yeah.
Kelvin. Yeah.
Young Bosch.
Kelvin, yeah.
He didn't remind me of him then, but like when I think about him, it's like he kind of got that,
Yeah, Kelvin, man. Yeah, I ain't talked to him in a minute, but
I ain't
he's
talked to him in a good little minute.
He kicked it with McDade for his birthday a couple days ago, like last weekend. So, they kicking it. Shout out to y'all.
Yep. Hey, I love y'all guys, man. Y'all some good. Y'all welcome me in like I was one of the crew.
Yeah.
So man, when I see B, man, B is like that dude.
He that guy, man.
Yeah.
That's my dude, man.
We don't mess with Stewart no more though.
Yeah, look. The funny thing is, I told him about we was gonna be doing like a podcast, and I told him like, dude, you gonna come on? He's like, man, I don't like the camera or anything like that. I was like, dude, like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, Keenan, you still okay, man? But if you come in town, you gotta holler at us, dude, because your mama be snitching on you.
She does.
I be seeing her in the store, and she tells me that you've been in town and you haven't said nothing to us.
Hold
So
up. He been in town?
he was in town.
it's over with,
He was in town a few months ago.
Yeah, it's over with.
So but he said he gonna get that straight.
Man, I would call in.
That's what he said.
Work.
Yeah. See. But yeah, we'll do that. But yeah, man. Appreciate the discussion, man. For sure.
Very
for sure.
interesting.
Yeah, it's very. We definitely could have went another route and said a few things, but I think we kept it G enough.
Yeah.
Kept it G.
It's one of them things you have to know. Like, if you don't know,
Yep. You don't know.
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Yep. One of those things. Yep.
You have to catch us in the street, had that discussion.
Yep.
But you can't cancel us because we have nothing to cancel.